Well, greetings. This is episode 61. I'm going to talk about John Candy once more since I enjoyed everything he ever did. He was such a natural talent, so comical, spontaneous, instinctive, and genuine. And when I saw the recent airing on CNN on the history of comedy, one person stated that he was an absolute sweetheart, unselfish, always kind, charming, and pleasing. And the thing about John was that every single time I saw him on SCTV, which was an hysterical show, or any movie that he was in, he genuinely came across this way, just as all of the adjectives I mentioned in the previous sentence. He seemed like that kind of person that would do anything he could to make you laugh or help you or just talk to you and be there for you. He was very sensitive. Soul deep is a better term. And that was his natural ability to be deeply empathic and in tune with his environment. You could just read it in his eyes, his facial expressions and mannerisms, as he was so aware of what was going on around him. It came out from every pore and fiber in him. Nobody did it the way he did it. So, John, please find a way to come back. If there is a way to come back, we all need you. My mom told us a story when I was young about me being a toddler, and I would occasionally come down with a temperature, get a cold, or a sniffle. She would, like any other doting mom, take their child to the doctor, fearing the worst. And our doctor would tell her that toddlers get sick. It's part of the process of getting exposed to germs, viruses, and bacteria, which is all part of our environment, in order to build up immunity to these attacks. Children are naturally curious and they're going to get into dirt and touching things around the house. You have to let them be and don't get too concerned about them. It's natural and your child will become stronger, healthier, and live a long life. And he ended his knowing speech by stating, and if he doesn't, then he doesn't. That's good news. I keep telling Mary, my wife, that I need to be a better person. I have probably said this to her more than 500 times, but it just doesn't work. It never survives my claim. It just turns into some fleeting thoughts that dissolve over time, and some of them last for only an hour or two with me. So, Mary, remember, I will be a better person. When I don't know, I'm still working on this. I was watching one of the morning shows, and this woman comes on promoting cocktails without alcohol during the holiday season. You see, I thought that the whole point of a cocktail was the alcohol. I'm not interested in virgin cocktails, mocktails, or sober happy hours. I want a drink with alcohol in it, and I'll worry about my liver after a few drinks, especially during the holiday season. And while listening to the song Home at Last by Steely Dan, which was inspired by Homer's Odyssey, where Ulysses attempts to sail home safely after waging battle, synonymous with Becker and Fagan's desire to head back home to their New York City homes after recording several albums in Southern California over a 6 year period. And now being freed from their stifling contract, they create an album the way they wanted to, their way. They certainly achieved their artistic apex with the release of the incomparable Asia album with each of the seven songs. And Home at Last may be the song that distinguished this album the most. When the album was completed, they, like Ulysses, went home. Almost every song they've ever done was achieved with very high standards, and it's almost impossible to choose their best song. But Home at Last was certainly a song of impeccable and flawless standards, just like every song on the album. There's a reason that the album is in the Library of Congress. I know he stated this before once. Recently, a friend and I were relating some of the concerts that we attended in our younger days. And to be honest, I didn't attend that many concerts in my heyday as I would have liked. But when I told him about seeing Eric Clapton at Madison Square Garden back in 1975, I told him that I don't remember much. Not only was it nearly 50 years ago, but I honestly don't remember who was more fucked up and out of it, Clapton or myself. I had a hard enough time just standing up, and Clapton could hardly move himself, but his guitar riffs and voice were fine as far as I can recall. My wife makes some incredible chocolate chip cookies, and of course, it's the holiday season, and I look forward to them every year. But I have a history that I will explain. So she bakes up the cookies the next morning. I ask her where they are, and she replies by saying, I can't tell you. You'll eat all of them in one day. And I'm like, no, I won't. And she says that she doesn't trust me and states that I've done it before. So I tell her, I'm your freaking husband and you can't trust me. And she says, nope, no way. I've been down this road before. And I hesitate for a moment, reach down inside of me, which isn't very far, and I say, you're right, damn it, I'll wait till Christmas. The tragedy of time and being puzzled by being puzzled, as Iris Murdoch would say. Two very interesting quotes. The tragedy of time and being puzzled by being puzzled. I was thinking about when I was young, and I recall that so many girls were chasing me in middle school, I had to hire a bodyguard. But it ended there. After eighth grade, the years caught up to me. The shine was off the rose at around 14 years old. Do you know the one thing that most of the people in the world are doing right now? Is sitting around and waiting, which is what I'm doing right now. I don't know who came up with the idea of having these huge hanging lights in these old buildings that are 30 or 40 feet above our heads that could come down and possibly kill us. This is no longer a great idea. Take them all down. Their time has come. And remember, if you're out and about, you're most likely being filmed. So be good and try to be nice and try to look nice. And if you like mob movies, catch Tulsa King starring Sylvester Stallone. It's an excellent series on Paramount Plus. Oh, hey, hey, yo. All right, I will stop here.